Hey everybody, Sylvie K here. And just when everybody thought I was dead, well, haha, here I am. Anyway, today I'm going to be making some homemade hamburger rolls. And if anybody has been to the grocery store lately, I'm sure you're aware of how expensive bread is now. And I used to every now and then um, buy hamburger buns here that had the sesame seeds on them, but if you can never find them anymore, well, good luck. And then when you do, they're like over $8 for like 8 of them. So anyway, I'm going to make some today. I've made them twice already, and they are absolutely delicious. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of water, 1 package of regular yeast, not the fast-acting yeast, and 1/4 cup of sugar to this, and then let it proof a little bit. And just a little stir. It's a Claygon. It doesn't want to let go. Okay, so this is proofed up a bit. So now I'm going to add to this 1 egg. 2 tablespoons of softened butter. And I have 3½ cups flour with 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. And this doesn't take a real whole long time to make either. After I get through mixing this, then I'm going to put it in my Instant Pot to proof, and it only needs to proof about an hour, hour and 15 minutes or so. And then after that, it only takes about another 25 minutes to rise, and then you only bake it for about 15 minutes. So this is a real easy and economical thing to do. Now after this all gets incorporated, then you let it knead for about 10 minutes. Okay, so I let this knead for about 10 minutes, and I'm just going to shape it into a ball here. And I have sprayed some Pam in my Instant Pot, and now I'm going to stick it in my Instant Pot and the yogurt setting. And you don't put the lid on, just put a plate on top of it to proof in your Instant Pot. And so I'm going to let this go for about an hour or so, and I'll be back. Meantime, while my dough is proofing, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with, suddenly it's in the news everywhere about microplastics that are into everything. And for as long as I can remember, before I even knew anything about microplastics or any of that crap, I have always used pretty much stainless steel utensils and wooden spoons, and the only plastic things that I have are these silicone spatulas, and they say that microplastics are mostly released whenever heat is added to them, but I don't use these very often, and I certainly never have used them on anything to stir when I'm cooking or anything. But my measuring spoons are stainless steel. This is a neat little dough mixer thing if you mix dough up by hand. And wooden spoons, sometimes if you stir Kool-Aid or something with them, they get stained a little bit, but generally you just wash them up, and I always kind of rinse them in a mild bleach water. But my measuring cups are stainless steel. And also what I bought not too long ago was I got a butter barrel, and I used to keep it in this glass butter dish because I always keep my butter at room temperature anyway, but it always got stuck all over the stupid bottom of it and the top and the sides and everything. And so I finally broke down and got this, and you just put your butter in there when it's softened, and you put a little bit of water in the bottom of this, and then you keep it like that, and whenever you want to use it, the thing will sit straight up like that, and just put it back in there, and your butter stays good forever. And I also bought this, this thing here. Also, newsflash, they say that tea bags release a lot of micro plastics too. So I got this little pitcher thing, and it's made from borosilicate glass, the same glass that they use as labware, and actually what used to be used in the old Pyrex dishes. And it will break if it has sudden temperature changes, and you can use it in the refrigerator. You can use it on a gas stove over low heat. But what I did too, and it has this really fine micro mesh thing on it, and I went ahead and opened some tea bags that say aren't safe for microplastics, and the tea is really, really fine. But I went ahead and put it in here and then poured some boiling water in it, and this little screen that's on here catches it pretty good. So, just if anybody's interested in that. And I also got this pot. This is, and it wasn't really all that expensive. This is also borosilicate glass, and you can use it directly on the stove over medium heat, and it has a little porthole there for your steam to escape, but you can also use it for salads as a nice presentation on the table and what have you. But anyway, and I don't have any pots and pans with that are non-stick, that stupid stuff, Teflon. I never had any of those. I have a lot of cast iron pots and stainless steel, and I have some Capilon, and Capilon pots is anodized aluminum, and it's very, very safe too. And so that's my pots and pans. But also, Thanksgiving is coming around, and with all the food stamp crisis that's going on now, there's not even sure if folks are going to get their food stamps for December. And I just saw a thing that said that the government is trying to rescind the small amount of food stamps that they have filled up on people's cards. So just a suggestion, I wouldn't be going to Walmart and get their highly discounted 2025 already made Thanksgiving meal, because that's going to pretty much not go very far, especially if you have a big family. There won't be too much there for leftovers. But what I would suggest for people in the future is to try to stock up on extra sugar and flour and things, cooking essentials and baking essentials for things that you can make from scratch, because it goes a lot farther and it's way cheaper than having to buy an $8 loaf of bread. Hell, milk here, I went to KTA last month, and a gallon of milk at KTA is $9 and something cents. It's still a bit cheaper at Walmart, but and instant milk isn't all that cheap. But if you can get some instant milk and keep that on hand for baking and stuff too, and get the whole milk if you want it to taste, excuse me, halfway decent. And you can always add just a touch of vanilla extract to it to make it taste a little better, and then refrigerate it overnight, and it's really not too bad, and it comes in handy for baking too. Another thing, stock up on some split peas and beans and rice and things like that, and canned fruits. Everything is just outrageously expensive nowadays. Hell, a can of peaches, just a regular old can of peaches, cost almost $4 damn. So, just trying to make a few suggestions for people. And like I said, I wouldn't waste my time getting a pre-made or packaged little Walmart meal, because like I said, if you have a big family, you're not going to have much left over to stretch it very far. And I hardly ever use a microwave, but if you do use a microwave, you need to microwave it in microwave safe glass, because that's much safer than microwaving it in plastic. Because like I said, I just kind of wonder if that's not what's wrong with a lot of people nowadays. I think their brain is infiltrated with microplastics. Now, after all that preaching about microplastics and silicone stuff, I did get most silicone bakeware is relatively safe, but you also have to look at the ingredients that they have in them. And I got these some time ago, before I ever really even used them. And from what I understand, that if you kind of heat them up a couple of times first, any microplastics that are in them dissipate, and it becomes less and less. But like I said, I got these to make the hamburger buns with, and I haven't tried to make them just roll them up and flatten them in balls yet, but I'll try that. But so far, they come out a little high, but that's okay too. I just like the way they come out. And like I said, this recipe that I have is really, really ding boo ha. Now, my dough has proofed now. And so what I'm going to do is make these. And the mistake I made the first time when I used these silicone things is that I didn't spray it with some Pam, and my buns kind of stuck in it a little bit. So, just so you know. Now, this recipe will make 8 buns, but so far I've only made the 6 out of them. That might be why my buns get a little high, but I flatten them out a little bit. And now I'm gonna put some egg wash on this. And sprinkle them with some sesame seeds. Also, I have found that I keep my spices and stuff in these mason jars with plastic lids, but being here in Hawaii where there's so much humidity in the air, the moisture gets in, and unless you have a silica package in the bottom of your jar with your spices, moisture will get in and your spices will turn to crap. So what I have been doing is I go ahead and put a regular canning lid on it with the band, and that has worked out a whole lot better as far as not ruining any of your spices. So now I'm going to cover this and let these rise for about 25 minutes, and in about 10 minutes I'll preheat my oven to 375 degrees. Also, another little thing that I learned, well, I've learned a lot since I started canning, which wasn't all that long ago, but anyway, a lot of the meat and stuff that you can, it's good and everything, but a lot of it is dry. And like I said once before, one of the best things that I've canned so far is pork butt. But to make it even better, and I'm not a fan of barbecue stuff and everything, but since I made these buns last time, what I did was I took a can of this pork butt that I canned, and I made some homemade barbecue sauce, because I've never ever bought a store-bought thing of barbecue sauce in my whole life. But the barbecue sauce that I made was wicked good, and it's really good. You just skim off the fat and drain off the liquid, and then put it in a pot and add a little bit of your barbecue sauce and make you some coleslaw, and you got some really, really good pulled pork sandwiches. And so I just thought I'd let somebody know that. And also, I found that like I made split pea soup and some other stuff with ham in it, and the ham gets really, really dry. So the next time I make some split pea soup to can, what I did was I bought some individual ham slices, and so when I can it up, I can just take the ham slice out of the freezer and then cut it up in chunks and then add it to my soup whenever I heat it up. And you can just take the ham slice, and if you're just going to cook it for yourself, you can put it in individual seal meal packages and freeze it like that, and it's already made. So whenever you have a bowl of soup, all you got to do is pull out the package and you're good to go. And as long as you have like some bouillon cubes, either chicken or beef, and a can of tomatoes, and some onions and cabbage, and some macaroni noodles or spaghetti, you can make a whole lot of stuff with it that's economical. And I just thought I'd pass that on because I'm really tired of people in $3,000 suits um, with the brightest white veneers on their teeth trying to tell people that things are affordable. Well, when I went grocery shopping last month, um, not even a 2 pound chuck roast was 40 bucks, $40. I have one in the freezer that I bought some months ago and it was $21. So that's 20 more dollars than it was a few months ago. So you go tell somebody that's spreading all these rumors around about things being affordable. Well, I'd like them to go grocery shopping, but it won't make any difference to them because they're too busy having their dinners with crab claws and shrimp and ice fountains and everything. And you can always make goulash. That's really, really easy and cheap to make. Okay, so here's my hamburger buns that I made, and they're not quite finished cooling off yet, but I went ahead and cut one in half so you could see. And I do hope that somebody will try to make these because they're absolutely really, really good. And with that being said, I hope everybody's well, and I'm not sure if I'll make a video before Thanksgiving. But anyway, I hope everybody has a happiest Thanksgiving as they can possibly have with everything that's going on. And so, hopefully I'll see y'all again soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.